Welcome back, trainers. So it's happening. They officially announced the online ranks that'll be heading into Pokemon Go in 2020, as well as the possible Team Rocket leaders that are going to be holding onto the Shadow Legendaries, Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos. So we're going to be going over all that, as well as tips on how to prepare yourself to do better against these grunts that possibly may be stronger in the future. So this information was found today within the Game Master files regarding possible team leaders coming into Pokemon Go anytime now. I mean, we've had that screensaver as the game loads for a while now. I would suspect that we're going to possibly get them, soon. Very excited and anticipating this release for even stronger grunts, as well as a storyline to eventually lead up and build up to battling Giovanni himself. Please let it be some sort of Master League using 6 Pokemon. Now, it's to my belief that I think that these leaders here are going to be holding one of the Shadow Legendaries, right? We pretty much established this. Arlo, I think, is going to be Zapdos. Cliff is going to be Articuno, and then Sierra is going to be Moltres. That's just my estimated guess. I'm not going 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be having the legendary birds at some point in time when you do battle them, right? We'll be going over tips on how you can prepare yourself even more, but now let's go ahead and go over some of the notes that they did give to us thus far regarding online battles. Now, I think this is going to be revolving around the Verse Seeker. So this was also found within the game's data by a data miner, and what it's going to be doing in the main series games, the Verse Seeker, is you have to walk to charge it, and then it will allow you to battle trainers that you've already battled. Now, the whole battling trainers that you've already battled is going to be scratch that on Pokemon Go. I think we're going to get a Verse Seeker, and you're going to have to charge it up to battle people online. It's not going to be somebody you've had to battle before. It's just going to be random. Not only that, but you're going to be able to have some sort of rank to establish yourself amongst the world. This is amazing. We have the Silph Arena. Do I think it's going to kill it off because of this? I do not think that's going to happen. You might see a little decrease, but at the same time, people are going to start becoming more interested in PvP after this happens. Maybe become a little bit better battling random people. They don't have to worry about who they're facing. They lose, and nobody has to know. It's not in a tournament and everybody's watching them. So maybe once they build up their confidence, they will be able to start going to these Silph leagues in their local community. So you might just see an influx in people actually starting to join your local Silph Arena tournaments. And that's what I think about that situation. So what do I think about it as a whole? We know that there's going to be seasons. So basically somebody is dominating. Somebody's doing so good. They ranked up and the end of the season's coming. They had their spot, and I think they're going to reset it every season. And as simple as that. There might be some sort of paywall behind this, not completely. There may be some sort of premium deal that you have to buy, but the future will tell what is going to happen. They're going to be releasing some sort of video and some sort of developer notes. Now, this is going to lead me up to my next topic here, and that is going to be possibly gym leaders and the whole Team Rocket leaders. Maybe can we see a global trade station? We've been over this before, folks. Can we see this? And how will that work? Basically, there will be a place that you can go. Say you have a lucky friends with somebody across the world that you will never meet. Possibly you can go to this specific location, drop off a Pokemon, and they can go to that specific spot too at whatever time. There might be some sort of cooldown, and you can make your trade there. You'll have to possibly coordinate, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot better coordinating with somebody in a different time zone than to possibly never trade with them ever again. Just these little things. If they're bringing online ranks, this is something totally realistic to look forward to. So I just thought I'd bring that up. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Shadow Pokemon, and then go ahead and go into some Team Rocket Grunt battles so I can show you some tips and tricks to prepare yourself for the big, strong, bad team leaders later on, right? So we do have these rosters here. This image is going to be brought to you by Couple of Gaming. Link in the description to their Twitter, of course. So the one that I do want out of all of these is Lapras. Do I have everything else? Yeah, I don't have Electabuzz. I haven't seen that one. I do not have Sableye. I want Sableye quite bad. Pretty much have everything else. So I want Lapras, Sableye. Haven't seen Lapras, been battling those. Now, if you're curious as to when you go up to a Team Go Rocket stop, if you're still lost, this image is going to be made by LeakDuck. Also, link in the description to the Twitter so you can try to find this image yourself. Save it and memorize it because it will help you out. All of the different grunts do have phrases in which they will say before battling them, preparing you for the Pokemon that you should be picking going into that battle. So for instance, if they say something along the lines of, I'll defeat you into the ground. Well, that's ground types there. So you're going to want to pick grass, water, or ice. Personally, for myself, I always go with Roserades because that Razor Leaf is absolutely just demolishing them every single time. And then as you can see, other phrases here and so on. Winning is for winners. Don't bother, I've already won. And get ready to be defeated are all random. Sometimes they can come out with strong Pokemon. Sometimes they just come out with weak stuff. So you never know, right? Now, to prepare yourself to go up against these gym, or should I say these Team Go Rocket leaders, Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo, I think you should have some of these Pokemon powered up. Tyranitar would possibly Spack Down and Stone Edge if you do have one of those from Community Day. If you don't have one of those from Community Day, well, then there is Rampardos. I know this thing may be hard to get your hands on because they are somewhat rare, but we've had the Rock event. They're coming out of eggs. They've been out for a while, so maybe if you don't have enough candies, invest a bit because this thing is quite amazing with Smackdown and Rock Slide. It will put on work into those legendary birds. Also, I recommend you have some sort of psychic type Pokemon, Mewtwo with Confusion and Sight Strike possibly, or if you don't have that, my personal favorite, Armor Mewtwo right here with Confusion, Dynamic Punch, and Future Sight. The thing is pretty tanky, even when the Pokemon do have Bite, because you go in there with your Mewtwo, you're like, yeah, I'm going to take him out. All of a sudden, they have Bite, and they just rip right through your regular Mewtwo. It's going to destroy your Armor Mewtwo as well, but not as fast. Also, Kyogre is going to be a decent option to have as well. Always a tanky Pokemon. Waterfall, Hydro Pump, hitting pretty hard. And then if we take a look at this Dialga here, I see a lot of people recommending this, and yes, it is fairly tanky with that Steel type resisting a ton of Pokemon. You do not want Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor per se to go up against them. Maybe Metal Claw and Iron Head would be more viable. And then, of course, you're going to want to have yourself a Machamp, Counter Dynamic Punch, and maybe Rock Slide for a bit of coverage there. And then, of course, another fighting type can be Lucario with Counter Power Punch and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball giving you a good amount of coverage in case they trick you with that phrase in the beginning. Winnings for winners. You're like, oh, Snorlax, and then all of a sudden it's a ghost type. And they're like, oh, great, well, here we go. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at a few tips here. All right, so using your Switch is going to be something you're definitely going to want to consider. The reason why is because you want to have as many Pokemon survive so you will get more Premier Balls at the end, because when we do see these legendary birds, you're gonna want to catch them, and they may just be a pain in the butt to get. Now check this out. This Golduck has Confusion, I am part Poison, and it's ripping through me. I don't want to lose any, so I switch, and then the opponent stops attacking for about 2 seconds, giving you a good amount of window to do that damage and take them out. In comes the Politoed here, and I am switch locked, right? But I can still hit this charge move, so I'm looking great. And as well as keeping all my Pokemon and having more Premier Balls to catch that Pokemon. Not that I'm going to need it to catch Psyduck or anything, but it's little tips like this that you're going to need when you go up against these Team Go Rocket leaders, when they do bring out these Shadow Legendaries. I also recommend that you bring up your Purification as well as your Team Rocket badge to at least Silver to increase your Premier Balls. So when you do encounter these Shadow Legendaries, you will be locked and loaded, ready to go, with at least a 9 like that. You will get 9 if you do not let any of your Pokemon faint as well. Now, going up against a Shadow Legendary, I'm assuming you're going to lose a Pokemon or two for sure. But nonetheless, these little tips are still going to help you accomplish this and conquer these specific situations here. Now, going into the next one, it is going to be Flying. They had the Flying phrase, so I picked my Rampardos team. Now, typically I'm like, alright, almost take this whole thing out with one Rampardos, but check this out. This Golbat does come in and it's tearing through me. Now I'm going to hit this charge move, and when you use your charge moves, that as well will cause a pause in the Team Go Rocket Grunt. But when they do bring out a new one there, you do have to look out because they're not going to really pause. So I immediately switch into my new Rampardos and then hit that charge, and we still have all 3 of our Pokemon, so we're looking good to go. So just remember that switch trick. It's going to really help you out in possibly helping you survive or getting more Premier Balls. So that is the second example there. Now we're going to go into another one here, and that is going to be holding your charge move. Now we're going to be going up against Don't Bother. I've already won, so I think I already went in and tested it, and I knew it was going to be ghost type. So what you're going to want to do here is just use your quick move. If you're able to withstand those quick moves from the Team Go Rocket Grunts Pokemon, like this Darkrai here, then all you have to do is use your shield. Don't be afraid to use your shields. And will the team leaders use their shields? I really hope so. So we're going to faint it down and gain a ton of energy. So as soon as the next ghost does come out, or whatever specific type that you're using, that's going to be super effective. With your charge move, you'll be able to just take it out in one shot, or just about one shot. In comes the Dusclops here, and we have so much energy gained that we're able to just about finish it off, and then finish it off with a few quick moves, and the Darkrai barely lost any health. So that is another tip there. Hold that energy on the first Pokemon if you're looking pretty comfortable. There's no real rush to hit the charge move unless you're about to faint and you need to pause that Pokemon for 2 seconds, enabling you to switch if you do not know how to quick switch. Now taking a look at another example here as to holding your energy, or at least in a bad situation. So I go in here with Lucario. I thought, winning is for winners. Maybe I might see a Snorlax, although I haven't seen a Snorlax in forever. So I have a fighting Pokemon. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, at least I picked Lucario. I'm going to use that shield right here, and we'll be able to hit it with super effective Shadow Ball. So having a diverse amount of moves on a Pokemon when you're leading, or any other Pokemon that you have in your party, is also going to be a good idea. Doing the switch here into Darkrai, pausing the Pokemon, as well as doing super effective. I'm not going to farm too much on this Banette because it is actually doing a good amount of damage with Shadow Claw. In comes the Dusclops here, and we're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball yet again, and we're looking pretty good. Thanks to that switch there and having coverage on the Lucario, we were not able to lose a single Pokemon. So with that said, trainers, if you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, share it, and I will be catching you all next time. Thanks for watching. Make sure you practice up on those Team Go Rocket stops and get ready to blast off.